Okay, so we got the daily Tanya of Gimel Tevet, which is today. So we started learning yesterday Perek Vav, which teaches us about the animal soul. Today, the focus is less on the animal soul and how it affects us, rather more on the way things are in the world, the reality of the creation. Everything in this world, see, anything that's not submitted to Hashem is which is pretty much everything in this world. Everything that we have in the world is neutral. We could either afterwards we'll learn how not everything is neutral, but there's neutral and there's things that are forbidden. So everything that's neutral, which is practically everything, does not receive its vitality from holiness. Only things that are submitted to Hashem receive vitality from holiness. So Malachim receive vitality from holiness. The godly souls that we have, they receive their vitality from holiness. You take something and you make it holy. So after you make it holy, it's receiving its vitality from holiness. But generally speaking, everything of this world, it's not forbidden, or also it is forbidden. It's not, everything that's not submitted to Hashem, I meant to say, does not receive its vitality from holiness, rather from what's called achoraim, chitzonius, the external part, the backside of Hashem. So there's two factors in that. One, anything that's not submitted to Hashem, Hashem hates. So therefore, Hashem needs it. Well, it has a purpose for it, let's say, and therefore Hashem allows it to exist. But on the other hand, Hashem doesn't like the fact that Hashem doesn't like it, so therefore the way it gives its vitality is in a way. It's like, imagine you have a boss who has a worker that he doesn't like the worker, but he needs him because he's the only person that can do the job that he's doing. So he's gonna give him a paycheck, but he's gonna give it to him in a way where he's like, "Get out of here! Like, I don't want to see you. Like, take it and go." Like, or the mashal of the Tanya is like over his shoulder, like behind his shoulder, behind him. Like, he doesn't want to look at his face. So he's going to give it to him, but he doesn't want to give it to him. That's one factor. The second factor is that the fact that this world is so low and so distant from Hashem, where everything in this world practically is not submitted to Hashem. That being said, if you were to take the light, a godly light of Hashem, and insert it in such a low world, what would happen would be that the world would cease to exist. From the greatness of the light of Hashem, the world would not be able to exist. It would all be absorbed in godliness. That's what would happen. So the only way that Hashem can actually create this, insert this godliness into the world, because you can't have something come to be without having that godly connection. It needs the godliness in order for it to exist. Everything has godliness in it. Otherwise, it does not exist. Everything's rooted from Hashem creating it. So also the evil stuff, also the bad stuff has godliness rooted in it, inserted in it. And the problem is that being that this creation is something that is against the will of Hashem, so you insert godliness of that fashion into it, it will cease to exist. It will be absorbed into godliness, and it won't be evil, it won't be bad anymore. So what Hashem did is that Hashem reduced the light of Himself so much that it became so small until it was able to be invested into the world, into the worldly things. And it's like in Gullus in there. It's an exile in this world and everything that exists in there. Because, like we said before, Hashem doesn't like the creatures of this world, the reality of the creations of everything of this world, being that it's not submitted to Hashem. So it's you could say suffers. It's an exile. This light of Hashem is an exile in every creation, everything, everywhere. So that is about the creation. That's more of the focus of today. Now we have these things. There's a split of two things, of two divisions, right? We said before that there are things that are neutral, but today we focus on the things that are forbidden. Tomorrow we'll learn about the things that are neutral, the things that are mutter, that are permitted. So the things that are forbidden, they receive their vitality from what's called the three klipos atameos. Those are three shells, so to say, that are tuma, that are tame, impure. In other words, the idea of a klipa is that it covers up. Hashem is not. You don't see Hashem in them. You see the opposite of Hashem. So from these are impure. There's no good in them whatsoever. Nothing godly about them at all in these klipos. And from these klipos comes vitality to everything in the creation, everything that's forbidden. So the pig gets his vitality from one of these three klipos. An action, someone's stealing at the time that he's stealing, so at that time he's actually connecting to these three klipos. Any action you do, anything that exists in the world that's forbidden, it receives its vitality from the three klipos of Tameres, one of the three klipos of Tameres. So that's today, and we'll continue to be continued tomorrow.